Not again. Can you believe this? Or do you actually believe this? Hi, I'm Amy Howell. Are you curious about moving to Florida and wondering if all those wild internet stories are true? Well, as one of the top realtors here, I have heard it all. And today I'm diving to bust 3 of the most common myths that we have encountered about living in Florida. Alrighty, myth number 1. Florida is mainly for retirees.
When did you move to Florida?
Yes, Florida is a beacon for retirees, but personally, I think that's because the older we get, the wiser we get. The older crowds might be drawn here because of the beaches, fantastic weather, lower taxes, etc. But that is the same reason anyone of any age would flock to the Sunshine State. One of the reasons I get asked this often is because families who are relocating are worried that their younger children will not have friends to play with in their potential new neighborhoods. But this is anything but the case. As a military spouse, we've lived all over the country, and I can tell you here in Florida is where we have seen more kids than ever playing outside in our neighborhood. So let's talk about who really lives in Florida. The median age in Florida is 42, which is just a tad above the US median age of 39. So we have nearly as many millennials and Gen Zers as we have baby boomers. So the myth that Florida is mainly for retirees is busted. Now, imagine this. You're minding your business, taking a nice walk, enjoying the beautiful Florida weather, and out of nowhere, here! Myth number 2. Alligators will eat your family. So when our family learned that we were moving to Florida, I legitimately had a friend, acquaintance really, tell me that I should be worried about alligators climbing the fence and eating our small dog, or at the time, small children. Much to my disappointment, I had been living in Florida for over 2 years before I even spotted my first alligator, and we lived on a pond. So let's talk alligator population versus incidence. Florida has a population of about 1.3 million alligators. On average, there are only about 8 unprovoked alligator bites that require medical attention each year. Florida's human population is over 21 million. The chance of a Floridian being seriously injured by an unprovoked alligator incident is roughly only 1 in 3.1 million. In comparison, you are 4 times more likely to be struck by lightning here in Florida than being bit by an alligator. Lightning kills 10 people and injures 40 in Florida annually. Basically, always assume that there's an alligator in any water and never feed alligators. It's dangerous and illegal. Swim only in designated areas and during daylight hours. And when you do see one, which eventually you will, just keep a safe distance and observe them from afar. So the myth that alligators will eat your family, that is busted. But seriously, just leave alligators alone. They're basically dinosaurs, and we all know how Jurassic Park turned out. So if you're still watching this at this point, thank you. We have so many more crazy myths to cover, but we'll be doing part 2 of this video. But I'm curious, what have you personally heard about moving to Florida? Any crazy Florida memes you might think might be true? If you have a myth that you want me to cover, leave it in the comments below. I love reading and responding to your questions, and definitely like and subscribe so you don't miss it when we do post. Now, for the last and probably most widely spread misconception, myth number 3, Florida is too expensive for me to live in. If you think Florida is all $1 million beach homes and glitzy Miami condos, I mean, there are those, and I really do love looking at them, but it's time for a reality check. People reach out to me often saying that they would love to live in Florida, but they think they just can't afford it. Florida is not just about high-end living. There are plenty of spots that are surprisingly affordable with that old Florida charm. These areas aren't just easy on the wallet. They're rich in community, great schools, and yes, the beautiful Florida scenery. So if you're craving that beach life, here's a not so little secret. In Florida, you're surrounded by beaches everywhere. You're never more than a short drive away from the beach. Like, really, it's not far. Also, remember, there is no state income tax in Florida, and there are some great tax breaks for homeowners. But here's the thing. These areas are getting quickly noticed. We're seeing substantial growth with new master plan communities and businesses just popping up as Florida keeps booming. So if this piqued your interest, then right now is the time to make that move. And hey, I'm right here to help you find the perfect spot in this paradise. Wink, wink, wink. If you've made it this far, thank you for hanging out. I have enjoyed spending time with you. Feel free to reach out to me if you have more questions on Florida living and relocating to Florida. My contact info and Calendly link is in the description below. So don't be a stranger. We'll talk soon.